Hey, it's Dr. Future, your favorite stylerhood therapist. So yeah, I finished watching the video of Gucci Mane and Keisha Kayor, and I'm jumping back into the conversation not because I finished watching the video, but because people are still talking about this, and people are sending me videos. It's coming up in therapy sessions this week, and I appreciate to some degree when there is misinformation that is stated out loud, because it gives us an opportunity to address those issues out loud, and we can stop with the game of telephone that happens in communities where information is passed down and rumors are spread and nobody checks it because nobody knows what's true and what's not and where it's coming from. So yeah, let's talk about it. Let me first go ahead and tell y'all, we not over here, we're not gonna spend a whole lot of time talking about Miss Kayor. Just like I did in the original video, she's not a priority to me. The only priority that she served in my original video and in this video is going to be that it is important to have someone, and if you can have more than someone, that's even more of a blessing, or a great deal of a good thing. But you need someone to be in your corner to help you manage when you have a serious mental illness. Okay, I don't want to talk about how she positions herself or presented herself to be Gucci Mane's savior. I'm gonna let y'all watch other people's videos for that. There are quite a few people whose opinions I respect that talked a great deal about that, and if you want to talk about that, go over there. Over here, what I want to talk about is, ain't nothing changed from what I said the first time. Bipolar disorder exists. Schizophrenia exists. Bipolar disorder, major depressive disorder with psychotic features, substance-induced psychosis all exist. It exists. That is the issue. What he is diagnosed with is not our issue. Nobody can diagnose Gucci Mane but the people who are treating Gucci Mane, and that includes any provider who's watching his video and trying to diagnose him or tell people what he is or is not diagnosed with. Y'all know better than that. Y'all know we don't do that, and I'm gonna just leave it at that. The problem here, or what we should be focusing on, is this black man decided to open up about whatever his issue is, and that helps break the stigma for other black and brown people to do so, because we play a big part in perpetuating the stigma, and that is what I want to focus on. What I want to focus on is we can dismantle some of the things that she said. In particular, the one thing that I want to kind of talk about is, no, you can't snap your fingers and pull somebody out of a psychotic episode. Let's dismantle that. Let's dispel that. What you can do is snap your fingers and be like, oh, I see what's going on here. I recognize decompensation, and they did talk about that. They didn't use that word, but I'm going to use it for you so I can help you understand. When you notice that a person's behavior and their personality is changing, that is evidence of decompensation in those types of disorders. And I just encourage my people to know what it looks like ahead of time and already have a plan in place so that you and your supports can act on that plan. That's what I encourage. And you can't do it by yourself. And if you challenge the person who is having an episode and they're not listening to you, that is the point of you being a conservator. It's not for you to say that somebody absolutely has to get treatment, because you still can't make that decision. You can override the person's decision to not want to get treatment and make sure that treatment providers are involved, but it's still going to be up to the treatment provider whether or not there's going to be any type of hospitalization or change to medication or any of that, okay? What I want to make sure that we understand is that these individuals continue to need the space to be able to say, this is what's going on with me, and to not have someone tell them, oh, ain't shit wrong with you, you need to toughen up, or oh, that nigga crazy, or he a clone. We don't need none of that. We don't need that. That doesn't serve the individual, and it doesn't serve us as a whole. It never has, and it never will. We need to be able to be comfortable enough to say, this is what I have going on, and okay, so then this is what we need to do about it. And we do need to address when someone is dealing with a mental health episode and people are offering drugs and alcohol, not understanding that you can make the situation worse by doing that. We need to understand what mania looks like. And he talked about that very well, that one of the reasons that I mentioned before, one of the reasons people don't want to take their medication is because it changes how they feel. When you're in a manic episode, and I'm telling you, because not solely from experience of sitting in a chair and talking to somebody about it, but from having experienced one myself from a medication-induced episode, that it feels good. You feel euphoric, you're full of energy, you get so much done. And typically, that's what you're encouraged to do, right? Keep your energy up, be productive, and the more productive you are, the better you feel. So when that is a part of your disorder, your disease, your illness, and we tell you that it's wrong, it's confusing, because how can that be wrong? Well, it's wrong because that drains you, and it makes you do things that are out of character and things that are impulsive and compulsive. And after you've given away everything that you have and your money is gone, and then you're trying to talk to somebody, and then somebody is trying to convince you not to take your life. Ask me how I know. So yeah, that's what I came back to say. Ain't nothing changed in the original video as far as my position is concerned. These disorders exist. I don't know what that man's diagnosis is. I just know what he shared with us, and there are so many individuals who do not share because of the way some of y'all respond. Why would somebody come and tell you that they dealing with something that is already shameful and embarrassing to them, just for you to then turn around and ridicule and dismiss what they're feeling? Or for a family member to come and share, this is what's happening with my person, and then you make light of it. Like, no. We got to do better. We're supposed to be doing better for ourselves, because we know what it feels like. We know what it feels like to go to the doctor, and the doctor tell you you're not experiencing the type of pain that you say you're experiencing, whether it's physical or mental. And then you give up, because why am I going to keep doing it if you're not listening to me, if you're not hearing me? And we need to be better advocates for family members of people who are trying to help people who have serious mental illness, and help them with resources, help them figure out what they need to do to help keep their people on track. That's what I want to talk about. Now, you put something in the comments and you want to tussle a little bit about some other stuff, baby, possibly, depending on how I feel, whether or not I tussle with you and how far I'm going to tussle. But it ain't going to be that far, I promise you that. I am going to come back probably and make another video, because I intend on reading his book in its entirety, because there aren't a lot of books that I refer to that are written by celebrities talking about mental health, because I do find that a lot of it is fluff so that they can make money. I will tell you, one book that I tell people to read is The Mother of Black Hollywood by Jennifer Lewis, where she talks about her issues, her lifelong issues with living with bipolar disorder, and how it has impacted her life. So yeah, I'll be back, but ain't nothing changed over here. All that stuff still exists, and it looks different for different people, and we need to be talking about it. So I ain't gonna tell y'all to wrap it up. Keep on talking about it, so we can keep on discussing it and coming up with plans and doing better for ourselves and for our people. Y'all have a wonderful Thursday.